We have just finished the basics of the while loop. Now, before we go to the for loop, there is something called as a range function. Okay, it's be useful for us to understand what a range function does. And once we understand that, it's going to be really quick. We'll move on to the for loop. So what is this range function? Click on range function. There we go. A range function is a built-in function to generate a sequence of numbers. We'll quickly see why we are looking at the range function when we look at the for loop, but just try and understand what a range function does. So when you say a range of 10, it gives you a range of numbers. In programming terms, we need a range so that you can use something called as an iterator. So iterator is a piece of functionality that can iterate over a range of numbers. And we look at that in the for loop, but range of 10 just returns a range of numbers. Now, when you say numbers equal to range of 10, it doesn't give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It gives you a range object that you can iterate through using an iterator. For example, let's actually look at it. So if we say numbers range of 10 and I hit execute, what is numbers? It says it's a range object from 0 to 10. It doesn't give you 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, those numbers. In order to extract those numbers, you need the for loop. The syntax for for loop is really almost as simple as a while loop. The only difference is for something in something. So earlier it was just one while statement and then condition and then the block. Here in the for statement, we have something called as a single element in a sequence. There are a variety of sequences that you can have. You can have something like a list. We haven't seen what lists are, so we're not going to discuss them. But for this example, we are going to look at the range sequence. Range, like I said, is a sequence of numbers, right? And when you say for in a range, this element is available in your block as a single element that points to this range of numbers. And with every iteration, it keeps moving to the next, like so. Okay? So let's actually write this for loop and do the same thing that we have done using the while loop. So for number in numbers, print number, right? So we have got numbers as a range. Now let's write this for statement. For number in numbers, right? Print number, okay? Execute. It prints the same thing that we have done using the while loop. Numbers from 0 to 9. 10 excluded because range starts from 0 and then that number is excluded. How is this for loop working? So when we said numbers is range of 10, so this range is a sequence like so, right? Starting with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So 10 is not included, okay? And then in this loop, we are saying for number in numbers. So numbers points to this range object. Print of number. The way for loop works is on the first pass, because it's a loop, right? In the first loop, number is pointing to 0, right? Number is pointing to 0. That's why we are able to print 0. So we are in iteration 0 or iteration 1. Next we go to iteration 2. In iteration 2, the for loop will ensure that the number points to this number. You know, this. First it was this in the first iteration. In the second iteration, the loop will ensure that the number variable points to the second iterable. So that's why we print 1. In the third iteration of the loop, number will point to this number in the iterable. So this points and this becomes 2. So that's how a for loop works. With every iteration, it increases or it points to the next element in the iterable. So the way the for loop works is with every iteration, if you don't understand the word iteration, it just means iteration means one pass in the loop. We're going to talk more about iterators and how they work, how to build custom iterators. For now, just understand that the word iteration means one pass in the loop. And then with every pass, with every iteration, for loop gives you the next element in the iterator. And the iterator in this case is the numbers which points to the range object. Right? So that's how the for statement works. Okay, so let's do a quick challenge.